So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So today I want to talk about something actually exciting. We've got more ship specials added to the game. And not only that, a few existing ones got buffed and quite significant buffs. I want to preface this by saying that some ships really got great buffs while some ships got incredibly minuscule buffs, which is a big shame. And it's also not every ship. We have a collection of 12 ships getting changes, so let's take a look at them. I have a doc ready to double check exactly what the ship does, since the overall viability of the ship will need to be taken into account to say how good it is. So we have Dinghy, which I've been talking crap about, but with this, it's a very much viable option again. It still wasn't a bad option before, since -2 CD and a lot of HP. But yeah, with this, it has a real viable niche again, with being a speedrun ship, high HP, good attack. But you also have a free special to use to get full board of matching orbs and 9 CD. Pretty viable. I know a lot of people will be asking, but the ship CDs are too high, when will you use them? And I'd say the main content to consider this for is Pirate King Adventures. Going to be a few of these will be quite viable for that, I'd say. Megalow special reduces cruise the spear bind by 1 turn. Very good special, since this means that Maro, together with its ship effects, now can remove 2 turns of bind the spear. 1 turn alone was good, but now we have an option of removing an additional one. So basically a free white base support, something like that. So yeah, I will say that personally this change makes me a lot more inclined to invest into Maro myself eventually. It got higher up in my list, at least. It was not very high before, if I might say so. It's not a bad ship, it's just a bit too standard for my taste, I don't know. Coffin Boat, which is a slasher ship. I actually like this one. Coffin Boat is not a top priority ship, but it's a good slasher ship. With this ship, the effects is that slashers get -1 CD, 1.8 times attack, 1.75 times HP, so very good HP ship, and resist bind by 1 turn. But with this, you can also basically counter special reavers for slashers, which could be very cool in some specific scenarios, but of course being limited to just slasher makes this niche in the end. But out of the niche ships, I think this got pretty good treatment. 12 CD is a big shame though, not gonna lie. Flying Mary, and yeah, this ship is probably my highest priority ship now, since I have no the spear ship. And let me check here. Flying Mary, the old effects it has is -1 CD, 5000 HP heal at the end of turn, 1.7 times HP, 1.2 times recovery. Very cool all-round ship that you can use. No HP boost with a lot of healing means it can be easier than other ships to get back at full HP, which can be useful for certain specials and captain abilities. Another effect this has with effects is that it resists 2 turns of the spear. And now we have a special that removes 2 turns. We're talking a 4 turn the spear reducing ship. Actually insane. If it wasn't high before my priority list, it was basically my #1 priority before then, now as well, and now it's clearly #1. I really want to do the Flying Mary now. Aokiji's Bicycle. This is a striker ship. I was going to say shooter, but no, striker. 12 CD special, which is bad, but effect. Reduces slot bind by 1 turn and boosts the type effects of normal attacks for strikers by 2.25 times for 2 turns. Not gonna lie, that's a really good effect. Sadly limited to just strikers, and I don't feel like mono striker teams are super viable. Usually strikers combine other classes, like maybe slasher or free spirit or such. So not sure how viable that will end up being, but it's undoubtedly a very unique strong effect, and it's for 2 turns too, so you can use it for revives and such. Maybe even counter intimidate if it's a -1 intimidate, for example. So it's an interesting buff. I know that the ship is not very interesting in total though. I haven't looked at it for a while though. We could look at it now if I can find it. What was the name? Bicycle. Let me search. Oh, in the doc I'm looking at, they hadn't even added this yet, so this must be a pretty new one. Nope, okay. I'll look at that later. But yeah, Striker, which is confusingly a shooter ship. -1 seeded to shooter, and you give a 2.5 times Call of Affinity shooters for 1 turn, which is very high. But yeah, shooters are even worse than strikers. So yeah, not sure what to think about that, to be honest. It was not added to this doc either. I should have found a better doc. Like, this is one of my biggest issue with ship level limit break, or ship buffs in general, that there's no good in-way game to look at this info, which is just insane in my book. But yeah, like I remember, like both Aikido's Bicycle and Striker, I remember it's not a big priority ship, so I don't think anything changes with this. Red Force. It reduces attack down by 1 turn, and if you have an attack boost, you increase it by +0.2. Otherwise, Cerebral and Shooter gets a 2.25 time attack boost. Pretty good, but we have the 1000 Sunny, which reduces attack down, which gives you a 2.25 attack boost, but to every unit, so is it that good? I don't think so. I know I saw Red Force here, so we can at least look at that. It's a cerebral shooter ship, 1.75 times attack, 1.4 times HP, higher chance of landing or matching, easier to land perfects, and you reduce attack down. So it's basically just a worse 1000 Sunny, so basically a useless ship. Very sad, very sad. Probably one of the lowest priority ships in the game, to be honest. Garp ship battleship. I know this is also pretty recent, so I don't think it's in the doc. Boost strength and side character chain multiply growth rate of normal attacks up to +0.5, which is actually pretty interesting. That's a pretty rare chain buff, and you get it for free with the ship. So yeah, if the ship is decent, this could be usable. Sadly, I can't check it right now. I haven't seen it here. Yeah, it's not here. Damn. That's the only one I'm a bit unsure about if it might be worth or not. I doubt it's a big priority, but eventually you'll be able to max every ship, so yeah. We also got a buff to Coated Sunny. That's surely here, right? What doc did I find? There's nothing here. But I'm pretty sure Coated Sunny is the bind removing ship, -2 bind. Or is it the damage reduction one? Yeah, there's a damage reduction one, but doesn't that resist bind too? But yeah, anyway, 12 turns for damage reduction is pretty bad, but they did add 1.3 or the damage reduction attack boost. Sadly, it's a pretty bad damage reduction attack boost. You get a 1.3 times extra damage, but better than nothing. And it's a unique buff, like very few teams have this buff right now, so basically it's a free stackable buff. But the value is also so low, so it's probably more valuable to just run a good ship to begin with. Unless you really need a damage reduction, then it's a pretty decent deal. But at the same time, if you care about damage and you need damage reduction, why not go for a good damage reduction attack boost? So yeah, not sure about that. Thriller Bark applies -50% driven and power resistance to all enemies for 2 turns. This is what I call a shaft. Like, this boat wasn't good in general either, and you get a tiny amount of resistance to 2 clauses. This is basically a normal swap for a filler legend. Absolutely useless ship special. Poor Thriller Bark. Zunisha. Deals 300,000 damage to one enemy, which is a bit whatever. But you reduce damage reduction by 2 turns. Pretty neat, not bad at all. I also remember Zunisha being pretty good. I don't think it's a top priority for me, but I'll get to it eventually, maybe 2025. And finally, Megalow. This is by far my favorite buff. I'd still rate Flying Mary as higher prior for me, but this is close to the top now. This is such a valuable change. Special also relatively low CD. Reduces slot bind by 2 turns, which is cool, but a bit whatever. The big thing is that you change block orbs to rainbow, and you also lock them. So we're talking about a ship that does 2 things that is completely unique for a ship. First, changing block orbs. Very valuable, like if we're thinking about like Pirate King Adventures and you try to build a max boosted team, block orbs is one of those things that can stop you from running that team. And now you have an option for running a ship instead to handle the block orbs for you. And not only that, it's the only ship that can give you unchangeable orbs. Like Rainbow Orbs is of course not the most powerful orbs in the game, but nonetheless, enemies can't change them. They can't give you poison orbs or super block orbs, whatever they want to give you. You block all of that. So Rainbow Orbs still have really good value. So yeah, this won't be a ship you can use all the time, but every time you see block orbs appear in a content, it means you have the potential of bringing a ship that handles it for free. That's very, very cool. Will be pretty versatile, I think. And if I end up investing in it, I will probably use this quite a bit, mainly in Pirate King Adventures and just having fun in arena and such. So yeah, very cool buffs, but sadly most of these were not that super high value, sadly. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.